Hey guys, HW. Back in the city. Did you see those beautiful clear blue skies? It's an absolutely stunning day in Sydney today. An absolute cracker. So I had to get out, get amongst it. Got my San Francisco Giants hat today. I've got that on. They're going all right. I've won a couple of games. I just looked at the score on the MLB app, Major League Baseball app. Pretty good app, that one. I must admit, being able to sit in the outhouse in the morning and check the scores is pretty handy. Or not just the scores, you see the live action as well. They show as each ball gets played and pitched and caught and thrown and the home runs and everything else. It's pretty good. But back to Sydney. We're on our way out onto the harbour today first. And we're going to Wareamah. That's my attempt to pronounce the Aboriginal word. But that's where we're going. So the plan is to walk around here, around the headland here, and walk past Circular Quay and jump on the ferry, and then we're going to be heading that way. So let's try it again. Wareamah. I think that's better. Wareamah. I think that's a bit more of correct pronunciation. Look at the good old hotel sitting atop the rise up there. The Palisades Hotel. But yeah, beautiful day. The sun's just beating down on me now, and it's a really nice warm feeling. It hasn't reached the 27 degrees Celsius that it's due to reach around lunchtime. The wind's currently from the west at 11 kilometres an hour, and that's why you see the water's quite flat. And so it should be a nice ride over on the ferry to... I'm not going to attempt it again to that place that I mentioned just before. So let's get going. Rejoin you here out the back of the Finger Wharfs, out the back of Miller's Point. And I didn't mention before, I'm heading out to this particular place today because as much as I racked my brain, I couldn't think that I'd ever been there before. And the name of the place, I'm giving you the Aboriginal name for it. But once I mention the English name, you'll probably recognise it straight away, and I'd expect a lot of Sydney-siders have been there before. But I haven't, as far as I know. So I'm going to be discovering the different things at this place at the same time as you. Again, look at the sky up there. It's the clearest sky that we've seen for a while, that's for sure. And that's what we start to get as we move through autumn into winter. These beautiful, clear, crisp mornings. And then we get a bit of warmth in the middle of the day to the afternoon, and then it starts to cool down again. It truly is the best time to come to old Sydney town, let me tell you. There's that famous squashed car. Yeah, that's that famous squashed car. Now that the noisiest truck in the world's passed by, there's that squashed car on the roundabout of Hickson Road. Big boulder on top of it. Harbour Bridge start to come into view now. And good old Pier 1 as well. The various insurance companies and tech companies peering over the harbour there at North Sydney. Just walking over from Barangaroo before, that's where I started the journey today. There are a lot of English accents in the air. So I'm expecting when we round the Cove here, we'll probably see a cruise ship in town. Either that or they all listened to HW and jumped on the plane and came out. But we shall see. This is one of my favourite spots to hang out for a while in Sydney, right underneath the Harbour Bridge, because you get to see a lot from this point. There goes the Martin Green to Circular Quay, one of the river ferries. Luna Park across the water there. Ferris wheel going. Obviously open today for the kiddies. And there she is, the delightful Danish designed opera house. Even as a local Sydney sider, you never get bored of looking at that building. It's absolutely glorious. Hit a shade, it was getting warm in the sun. Unusual to see a fisherman fishing just there at this time of the day. You think he would have moved on by now? He must be having some luck. Oh, looks like he's just starting to pack up now. Packing up his rod. He must have been killing it. He must have been catching heaps of kingfish. Yeah, I was right. There's a cruise ship in town. So what do we got? We got the Ovation of the Seas. The Ovation of the Seas is in port. It looks like it's got its resupply vessel on the side of it there. Maybe giving it a refuel or doing bits of maintenance. You see at the back of the ship there, they've got pallets and pallets of stuff they're whacking onto the boat to keep the punters fed and watered during the cruise. We might as well take a portside view of the cruise ship as we walk past outside the back of the passenger terminal. See, look there, I finally learned a shipping term. I still couldn't tell you what the front of the boat and the back of the boat is. I always get mixed up between the bow and the stern. But yeah, it's certainly got some bloody rooms on it. It's stacked. So they've got a climbing wall up there next to the Panda. Do you get that bored on the cruise that you find it necessary to do some outdoor rock climbing? You wouldn't catch me doing that. I'll have a look at the punters lining up to get on board. Desperate to get on board. They're going to be... excuse me. Almost choked, I'm laughing so much. They're going to be stuck on board for a week or weeks. And look at them. I can't wait to get on. I dare say after a few days, some of them will be wishing they could get off. I've arrived at the wharf. I've come at the worst possible time. I must have just missed a ferry, and I've got a half an hour wait to the next one. Absolute debacle. But at least we get another look at this cruise ship anyway. There goes the ferry to Neutral Bay over there. I'm aboard the River Cat, leaving Circular Quay. When I get out into the harbour proper, I'll shut my gob and we'll just enjoy the scenery, as we make our way over to Wareamah. Oh, welcome aboard. Oh, welcome aboard. Should say welcome ashore. Welcome ashore to our destination today, Cockatoo Island. I butchered the Australian native name for this island a few times, so let's just call it Cockatoo Island from now on for the rest of the vid. I've read a little bit up about the island before I came over, but yeah, isn't it amazing that it's so close to the bloody city and I've never bothered coming here. Yeah, so before we enter into the island proper, let's talk a little bit about its history. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site now. But back in the day, back in the 1800s, the English, when they pinched it off the locals, the Australian Aboriginals, they turned it into a shipyard for both repair and building of ships. And it remained that way right up until 1990. And then 91 it was completely decommissioned. So over the years, most of the vegetation on the site was ripped down so that they could build shipyards. And during the First World War and the Second World War, many a naval ship was built here and repaired. During the Second World War, a lot of American ships that were crippled in battles like Coral Sea, for instance, limped down here to get repaired before going back to battle. And I've got a bit of a story about one particular ship, which I've got a photo for at home, and I'll whack that into the video and talk a little bit about that. But first I want to check to see if I can find the site of that dock from that photo, if it's still here. But yeah, as I said, I haven't done that much research, so I'm not going to be able to tell you everything about the island, so I'll be learning as I go around, and any plaques that I find I'll read off them as I go. But just in the distance I can see one of the facilities that's available on the island now, and that's camping. And you can see the tents over there. They bring various school groups over to the island to learn the history and to camp. I don't know whether they use those tents for the kids or whether they bring their own, because they look a bit glampish, those ones. If I didn't mention before, the only cost for you coming over to Cockatoo Island is the ferry. The actual entrance to the island itself's free of charge. You don't pay. Now imagine if this was America, you'd be nickel and dime for sure coming onto the island. Now I'm going to have a Nectar there overlooking the harbour before I leave. But for now, let's learn a bit about the history. There it is. There's the dock that I want to look at. I want to have a look at the Sutherland dock, because that's the photo that I have, the ye old photo that I found on the net. Let's see what else we can learn on the board here. Yeah, so it confirms there that it's the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Without having to read through all of these, I can give you a little brief history. So obviously, the Australian Aboriginals were the inhabitants of the island first. And I think the name itself, Wareamah, I've lost it again. Wareamah means a place of meeting for women, women's meeting grounds. And apparently a few different tribes used to meet here. And even though they tell you that the Aboriginals they all have completely different languages, all the different mobs, apparently the three tribes around here had a common language that they understood and could talk to each other. So obviously, as well, I learned that this was a jail for the convicts for a little while as well, Cockatoo Island, before it became a shipbuilding yard. But on these boards, this is mainly telling us what's available today. There's not much history there. So let's keep going. Here you go, this chart gives us a better idea. So 1788, the local people using it for fishing and meeting grounds. 1847, construction of the Fitzroy Dock begins. 1869, the convict penal settlement closes down. So I don't know what years that was open for because it doesn't mention. And then it became an orphanage in 1871. And then orphanage for boys as well, from 1871 to 1911. There it is, the Sutherland dock, that's what I want to see. 1882 to 1890 it was constructed. They built and launched a torpedo destroyer here called the Wareamah in 1911. And then obviously in 1942 it became a massive centre for the Allied ships, the US ships, Australian ships. I assume the English ships probably came here as well.
It's not geolocated, it's remote control.
Looks like in the year 2000, much like we saw in Alcatraz in the US, where the Indians claimed ownership over the island. Looks like the local indigenous people here did the same thing with this island by holding a tent embassy here in 2000. But, you know, of course they would say that they never gave it away anyway. Yeah, so one of the movies that was filmed here, Angelina Jolie's movie Unbroken in 2014, this was a site for the movie. And there was another movie here, shot here as well, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, here it says here, from 2009 to present, they've been filming My Kitchen's Rules here, Top Model, The Block, and Master Chef. HMAS Voyager was built here in 1957. And then refitting of different merchant ships over the years. When it was a penal settlement, which again this chart doesn't tell us what year it was, there was a famous bushranger housed here called Captain Thunderbolt. And there's a bit of history to say that he broke out of the jail here with the help of his wife, who apparently swam over to give him the tools to escape, and then both of them swam back. Now, if that's true, that would have been quite a undertaking given all the bull sharks that are in the harbour. So they did well. All right, let's look at this map and see if we can find the Sutherland dock first. Apparently I can use this tunnel over here to get over the other side of the island. Oh, it's nice and cool in here. Look at these old columns. That's some bloody solid wood there. Can you imagine the naval personnel running in and out of these tunnels in the old days? I don't know how this is going to show up in the camera on the GoPro. So I might try to film close to the lights, that might help. But I tell you what, it's beautiful and cool in here, underneath in all this sandstone. Beautiful. There was someone at the front, looked like they were scraping off graffiti off the wall. I've just come through the tunnel here and I was expecting to be at the end of it, but I'm not. Long way to go. Here's the dock that I wanted to come to, the Sutherland dock. Integral to Australia's maritime history. Blah, 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 blah. Sir Henry Parkes, John Sutherland, who died in 1889. The dock was completed in 1890. It was the largest single graving dock in the world, and a fine example of late 19th century engineering. Its gate was originally operated by a steam-driven engine, but later changed to an electric motor in 1915. The dock has been modified several times since then, and in 1911 was changed to accommodate the battle cruiser HMAS Australia, and in 1928 for the docking of the cruisers HMAS Australia in Canberra. The Sutherland dock is 212 metres long, 27 metres wide, and at high tide 9.75 metres high. I've just realised, looking at the photo of the USS Chester, which I'll whack in here. I read it yesterday. I just realised, looking at the dock now, that the servicemen, the American servicemen, the Australians, were probably standing in the dock just along here somewhere, either along here or along this other side, but I'd say it's probably this side given the photo. So the photo was probably taken up there, taken back this way. But a bit about the USS Chester. Just while I explore the Sutherland dock, I came across this plaque here, and it says here this is a recreation of a fossil that was found here during the construction of the dock. Said it was from an amphibious predator that lived here during the Triassic period from 252 to 201 million years ago. It looks like a crocodile and could grow up to 7 metres long. I wouldn't have liked to have been around for that. Here's another old bit of machinery to look after the boats in here. Some sort of pulley system up the top there. Back to the dock, because I wanted to try to find that spot where they were probably standing. I'd say it was probably along here somewhere, but I'd say they were down. They were actually down in the dock there, where you can see that float there now. They could have even been just there next to that building there, but I couldn't see that building in the photo, so more likely along here, I reckon. Yeah, in that photo of the USS Chester, I was reading about they limped in here after one of the battles and had a few repairs done, and then at one stage they travelled all the way back to the US to get a total refit before rejoining the battles like a year later. So I got some rail lines here as well to move some carriages backwards and forwards. Move large machinery around, cranes and such, I'd say. One of these other islands, there's two other islands here. There's that one there. And that one over there. One of these, I can't remember which one, but one of them was used as an ammunition storage facility. I'll whack it in the text. But could you imagine the docks here back in World War II filled with American and Australian ships getting repairs done before racing back to the Pacific to get into it? I can. There's another dock over there, another couple of docks. See if we can get over there. Another rail of some sort here on the side here. Oh, listen to these mugs. Going nuts. Yeah, another rail here. Again, to use to pull machinery around for the ships. Just over there, past that island over there is Birkenhead Point. I was going to head over there today as well, but now as I get around the island I've changed my mind. I'll probably go there another day. That's another adventure in itself. Beware of birds. Silver gulls breeding in this area. Keep away from the nests. The birds may swoop and cause distress. Some sort of floating dock here. Looks like it floats under the bridge over there. What's this say over here? Powerhouse and Chimney. The powerhouse played a key role in the operation of the dockyard and also for electricity to the mainland up until the 1950s. It had 3 1,000 kilowatt turbo generator sets, air compressors and hydraulic units. Today the powerhouse remains almost entirely intact. It contains the most important and unique Australian collection of early electrical engineering items. I wonder if it's open. I wonder if we can get in there. Oh, look at this little spot here. This is a coal bunker where they used to store coal for the powerhouse, to run the powerhouse back in the day. And it looks like you can get in here because it just says watch your head. Oh, gives my back a workout. And you can imagine all the coal lumped in here back in the day. Getting ready to supply the power station. Black smoke billowing out of that chimney over there. What about the echo in here? Echo! Echo! Look at this, they even let you get inside the chimney. Oh, there is an opening up the top. Nice. Gladesville Bridge right over in the distance over there. It's a pretty scary bridge to drive on in when it's with the high winds, let me tell you. Now, can we get into this power station? Did I miss the entrance before? Nah, this looks like as close as I'm going to get to the insides of the power station. With this little door here. Nah. Out of luck. Look at these ye old bits of machinery. Some decent sized fuses there. Look at those suckers. I'll put my hand there. Some old cables. Old telephone box there. Telecom. It used to be the old name for Telstra in Australia, which before telecom was called what was it called? Something General's Office or something. Hopeless. I can't think of it. I'll have to put it in the text. The Postmaster General's Department. That's what I was trying to think of. That's what it was called before telecom and before Telstra. I was about to make my way back through this tunnel here, and then I saw these two punters climbing up the stairs here. And I thought, bugger it, I might as well get up there and see what's up there. So there's a convict precinct up there, and a ship design precinct, and a toilet, which I need, so let's get up there. I wasn't expecting to see these great big buildings up atop the stairs. Alright, what should we do next? Convict precinct this way. That is a year old building there. I don't see any plaques up. I'll need a plaque to tell you what it is. Other than the sandstone, walking along here, it looks like a building that you'd find in the American Wild West almost. Oh, we can go in. Oh, I can see some bars over here. This is obviously the old jail. Yeah, look, they've got the beds. Got the beds there. So they're using it as a cinema now. A cinema screen there. Definitely some solid cell doors there. Yeah, here's a little plaque. I was right, these are the convict beds. These are copies of the beds that were used by the convicts who lived on Cockatoo Island. They were allocated 40 centimetres of space on the bed each. They were issued a blanket and were sometimes permitted to use a straw mattress. Ooh, they must have been well-behaved ones. Yeah, I assume that those squares there are each space, so there's like 3 people on this one here. Wouldn't have been pleasant during winter. And they would have got destroyed by mosquitoes during summer. Can you imagine the convicts being paraded in this ground out here at different times, poked in the back by the redcoats. There is some accommodation on the island where you can come and stay, and obviously this looks like one of them because there's a table and chair out on the verandas. And I think there's different buildings you can stay in accommodation wise, and then obviously you've got the various campgrounds down below as well. This is an impressive old sandstone building as well. Oh, what a shame, closed for maintenance. If we can see in the windows. Nah, it's all it's all painter's sheets down and paint cans everywhere. Oh, look at this giant. Imagine sitting out on this veranda, taking in the view of the harbour. Well, the harbour down there, past that headland there. This is more of a river here now. Yeah, here's some more accommodation that you can stay in when you come. This is called the Harbour View Apartments. Different apartments that you can rent out. I wonder if you can hire out this one as well to sleep in. Empty rooms in there. But no doubt they're getting it ready to rent out. This old telegraph tower here at the top of this rocky mound. And we can get a bit of a view over the city. It's a lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. Walking around here. I thought I was going to be done in like half an hour, sit down, have a nectar, and then back on the ferry. But turns out there's more to see than I thought. Oh, they have some sort of guided tour on audio for you. Look, it says here, Cockatoo Convicts audio tour, stop number 7. What's down here? Oh, do we dare go down here? I don't want to have to walk all the way down there and walk all the way back. There's that Sutherland dock again. We'll walk down and check it out. Walking along this walkway here and these bloody things are crunching under my feet. And then I look to see how high up we are. I hope they're all affixed properly. Yeah, that's interesting. Look at that. It's like an old billy can there, and there's a... Oh, look, there's a hole in the rock there, and then there's a hoop there. Mate, I wonder if that was part of the convict tour. Oh, there we are. It is. Convict silos. Insurance against the drought. Oh, they hollowed out and filled them with water. That's what that bucket's there for. To lower it down, get the water and pull it back up the hole there. Good on you, Cockatoo Island. Putting us a nice little plaque there for us to read. I'm glad I came down here now. Another view of how high up we are. Cruising along here. Oh look, there's a little golf cart there. Oh, 2 golf carts. Oh, there's the ferry down there. I've done it myself. I've come all the way down here. I'm going to have to walk all the way back now. Oh, it says there's a tennis court here. Where's the tennis court? Oh, there it is. It's a grass tennis court. Don't look like there's many people playing it anymore. It's completely overgrown. Some delightful buffalo grass here. That's the best grass to grow in Oz, buffalo. It's hard, tough. Yeah, this homestead here is glorious. There's someone sitting on the veranda. Lower Island via North Stair. That sounds alright. Let me get down there. But why have I waited my whole life to come to Cockatoo Island? It's glorious. I might even come back. I'll come back and have a picnic here one day. What do they call this stuff? Don't they call it mother-in-law's tongue? This plane here. Yeah, look, they're going somewhere. Let me follow them. Those punters down there reading a plaque. Might go down and check it out. Yeah, here's these heritage holiday units that you can hire. But first they were built in the First World War. Dockyard staff lived in them. Says the first occupant was a medical officer by the name of Dr. Thomas William Francis. And then the dockyard engineering manager, Jack Payne. And a few different people. Yeah, definitely in the Federation style, these ones. Now, how do we get out of here? I've had enough. Oh, that guy's spraying poison over there. If ever you see someone spraying and they've got a mask on, run. Because that weeding stuff, those weeding chemicals, they're deadly. You don't breathe that crap in. This staircase looks as good as any, because I'm starting to run low on battery. I might have to skip a few of the sites on Cockatoo Island. There's probably heaps that I've missed. But I need to secure a Nectar stat. So I'm going to perish in a minute. Tell you what, it wouldn't have been fun to walk up from the docks every day up these bloody stairs. Even to come onto the island and then camp here might be entertaining one day. I wonder if they allow you to fish off the island. Might be good to come here for a fish and a camp. Now there was a little coffee shop over the other side of the island as well, next to that Sutherland dock, but I think I like the look of this one that I saw coming in. I might, because it's got a view of the city. Oh look, if you want to come over and play chess, there you go. Oh, here we get a look inside what the tents look like in the camping ground. So a little bed either side. Canvas tent by the looks of it. Tell you what, it's bloody hot in there. You want to stay out of the tent until night time. Some ice for the campground, come here. And then some drinkies out of the vending machine. Got an assortment of soft drinks. Coca-Colas, Solo, Sunkist, Mountain Dew, juices, Powerade, Lipton iced tea and water. How much are they, does it say? We have to push the button first. Let's see how much the water is. $3 for a bottle of water. I think I might save my coin for the coffee over here. Oh, Cockatoo overboard. Get your Nectar machine ready. Don't feed the seagulls. They cause a nuisance. Ripping rubbish sacks, fouling, and they can be noisy and aggressive. So there's a little cafe that I secured the flat white from, and I was going to sit in the seating provided there with the city in the background, but the sun's scorching now, and I've already been walking around in the sun with no sunscreen, so I'm going to stay here in the shade, I think. There's my flat white. Got a cheeky muffin as well. Did I mention that I might be able to drink this coffee sometime next year? It's an absolute volcano. I could barely even hold it in my hand. Look at this Chinese tour group over here. They're going crazy. They're worried about missing the ferry. They're starting to get a trot on. Yeah, this coffee is an absolute volcano. I apologise, I can drink it. Tell you what, it tastes alright. Oh, it's a Di Lorenzo. I haven't had a Di Lorenzo for ages. Not since North Sydney days. When there used to be one down in the Greenwood Plaza. Or somebody serving it at least. Here's a photo of how Cockatoo Island looked in 1944. There's the HMAS Australia there. In the Sutherland dock by the looks of it. See USS Gilmer there. Number 9, USS Gilmer. And then number 2, where's number 2? Oh, here, number 2 here. That's the USS LST 471. Whatever that is. And then majority of the others are all the Royal Australian Navy. So HMS Hobart there, number 6. HMAS Arunta there, number 8. This is some sort of floating crane called the Titan. Just there. I missed all those buildings over there. Apparently there's a bunch of buildings over there. I've run out of time. As I make my way back onto the ferry wharf at Cockatoo Island, Well, thank you for coming on the little skirt around the island today with me. And a little bit in the city as well. I'll see you in the next vid. The video is over. Maybe it is.